It's Paulina here at DeNami Design, and today we're going to be doing a video showing you how to create a really fun Easter card from start to finish. Here's the card that we're going to be creating today. As you can see, it just has a really fun, bright colors. It's fairly simple to recreate, and it uses some new and old DeNami stamps together. So let's get started. For our card base, we're using a piece of white cardstock, and we've cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5, so it's just a little bit smaller than your standard card. And for the background, we're going to be using the new Basic Borders cling stamps. So here's the set, and I'm going to be using the stitched border here. And we're going to be stamping it in the Spring Pansy Versa Magic. So I'm just going to ink up the stamp, and we're going to go down first, and then we're going to flip our card and create a fun little pattern. So we're just going to go down, you just want to make sure you're evenly spacing your stamp, so just looking through the clear block to see where we stamped it and just creating as much even lines as possible. Okay, we'll just add one more down here. Okay, then we're going to flip our card and go the other direction. It's just a really fun pattern, and it's really easy to create. You can do all sorts of colors. I just really like this purple. It's just really light and it's fresh, and it's perfect for this Easter card. Okay, next we're going to be getting a piece of celery cardstock, and we have it cut out to 2 5/8 by 5. So that's this one here. And then we also have a lavender piece of cardstock, and that's 2 7/8 by 5. And then we've used the EK Success dotted scallop border punch, and it created this really fun little pattern, and it's going to go right on top of here. But before we do that, we're going to be stamping another one of the new stamps. It's from the BD001 decorative border set. I'm just going to pull out the stamp. So it's this one right here. I'm going to use the same clear block. And then we're going to be using the Vintage Sepia VersaFine ink. And we're just going to go across and stamp this. This is one of my favorite stamps. This is just a really fun border. It's fairly delicate, but then it adds a lot to your cards. Okay, so that is all covered now, and now we can adhere these together. So I'm going to get my piece of paper. We're just going to have a new one here, and then I'm going to get my ATG dispenser. And then we're just going to center this. Okay, perfect. And now we're going to adhere it to our card base. But right before we do that, we are going to be adding a piece of twine. So we're going to be placing it right down here, and I will get a piece of ATG just so the twine can stick to it and so it doesn't move. And so we're just going to eyeball where we want it, and I'm just going to wrap it around, and we're going to create a little bow. So you can wrap it around as many times. I'm just going to wrap it around once, and then we'll do our bow from there. So here we're going to I got an extra long piece of twine just to make sure I had enough. Okay, so there's our little bow, and then now we can adhere it to our card base. So I'm going to just cut off the excess. Okay. And then now we're going to just cut this whole piece. And you can see that we have an extra long piece, so we're just going to cut off the excess at the bottom. And you've seen me do this in other videos, so at least it's right up to the edge of the card. Okay, so there is that piece. And now we can get started on our focal point. So I'm going to refer back to our card here. So we're going to have our little basket and our eggs. So for the basket handle, I've used the J141 Whimsical Oval Frame. It's this one here. It's one of our wood-mounted ones. And we're just going to be stamping it on white cardstock, and we're going to use the Vintage Sepia again. Okay, and now we're just going to use some scissors, oops, and cut around here. I'm just going to cut it as close as we can to the dots. Okay, so there is our handle. And now for the basket part, we're going to be using one of the stamps from the ice cream shop. It's actually the little cupcake holder, and we're just going to use that. It's on our clear block. And this one we're going to be stamping on just a scrap piece of brown craft cardstock. I'll just cut this out really quick. If you have some smaller scissors, you can use those. Okay, so there is our basket. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see closer. Okay, so now we're going to start putting all this together. So we're going to grab our handle, and we have our foam mounting tape here, and I'm just going to rip off a piece, and we're going to start to just put everything together. Okay, so I just put some pieces over here, and then we're just going to figure out where we want the top of the handle to be. And then we're going to use our little basket, and we're going to just use some more tape, and so you can see it's starting to shape up into our basket. And now every cute Easter basket needs some little Easter eggs. So what I've done is I just pre-stamped a whole bunch of eggs, and I've just done some different colors that I liked. These are just yellows and greens, purples and pinks. And this is a great way for you to just get all the coloring done in one stop. And so I've already pre-cut and stamped my little eggs just because they do take a little while, and I wanted to make this video as short as possible. So I have my eggs, and they're just all sorts of variations on the colors. And so I'm just going to get my foam mounting tape again, and we're going to start putting the eggs in. So I'm going to fit 5 little eggs in there. And I try to do some variations, so it's going to be one design, then we'll have the heart egg, and then we'll have another one. And these eggs come from the PF15 Easter set. I'll show you that set over here. So it's this one right here, and I just pre-stamped these 2 eggs. Okay, so there's our eggs. Let's add one more. Oh, it's starting to look super cute. Okay, and now we can add a little bit of color to the basket. So I'm just using one of my Copic markers. It's the E43. And I'm just going to color in the basket handle. Okay, so there's the basket handle all colored in. And now we're just going to be adding our sentiment. And I'm going to be using the F160 Happy Easter. It's this one here. And we're going to be stamping it on a piece of 5/8 by 5.5 white cardstock. And for this one, we're going to be doing it, I'll show you the card again. It's going to be in this little kind of banner shape. So I'm going to cut my white piece of cardstock, and we're just going to cut out little triangles. Okay, so there's our white piece of cardstock. And then now I'm going to get my scoring tool. This one's my Martha Stewart one. I'm just going to, so I do it here, let's see, this one is 7/8, and then it's at 1 1/4. I'm going to flip it over and just do the same exact dimensions. Okay, now we're just going to fold those. Okay, so there's our little place for our sentiment. And then we're going to add the words here. And I just stamped it in the brown ink again. And you're just going to center it. Perfect. And then now we're going to just add some more foam mounting tape, and then we're going to add the sentiment. So I like to do this foam mounting tape on this side, and then we're going to fold this in and do it on this side. And then I'm going to add 2 to the middle, so it's double stacked. And then we're just going to center it, and it's going to go a little bit off of the card. But since this card is a little bit smaller than an A2 size, it's still going to fit in an A2 size envelope. Okay, perfect. And you're just going to want to make sure everything's nice and pushed down. And then we're going to add 2 more eggs to the sides of the sentiment. So I'm going to add one right here. And the next one is coming on the other side. Okay, so if you wanted, you can end the card here, but for me, you know how much I love glitter, so I have to add some glitter to my card, and I'm going to be using the citron and magenta colors. And I'll use my Quickie glue pen, and we're going to start off with our magenta color, because it's the darker of the 2. I'm just going to add it on all the little pink spots, so we'll add it to the hearts. Okay, and then we'll just get a scratch piece of paper here. Just sprinkle that on. Okay, then we're just going to put it back into the jar. And then now we'll do the citron glitter. So I'm going to do it on all the spots that we've done yellow and also the green. It looks really great on the green because it makes it look like it's a lime colored glitter, even though it is just the same yellow. So I'm going to just add glitter here. Okay, and I'm going to make sure I tap off the excess of my scratch paper. And that way the ink, the colored glitter doesn't go into the jar. We'll do the same thing. We'll just okay. So now we have our finished card. It was really quick and simple. Once you get all the eggs colored, this card goes really quickly. And for the twine, you can use, we can use some of the yellow, or if you wanted to use the pink. With all of the new twines that we're carrying, there's a lot of different variations that you can do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.